I really appreciate you guys, especially those of you coming back, my returning subscribers. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And for those, if this is your first time seeing this video, my name is Gloria. I'm currently filming from the United States. I like to say that I am a straddling American between Nigeria and the United States. Having been here for like over 30 years. In my video, I talk about issues that touch, and I like to use my experience as well as the experience of other people, either residing in Nigeria or residing here in the United States. I like to use those experiences to inform and to educate, to facilitate viewers making informed decisions about, their own lives. Okay, and I hope you get a thing or two out of this. Sadly, I would say sadly, this video, it's something that I really wish that I didn't have to do, but it's like imperative because I did promise that I'll bring information that would inform. So this one is kind of, it's dicey. It's something that I really wouldn't have liked to even address because this was really, really close to home. On this video, I'm going to be talking about an experience that happened about 2 weeks ago, and it happened to somebody that is very close, somebody that I went to high school with, somebody that I normally don't use best friends as a term. I don't use that word loosely. So when I say this is a best friend, yes, I care about her very, very much. And what had happened had to do with security in Lagos. If you look at my other videos, you guys know how passionate I am about Lagos, Las Gidi. Yes, I love it. It's a bubbly state. It's a bubbly state. I compare it to New York, not in terms of infrastructure, but in terms of population and how people go. The only difference with New York is, because I lived there about 11 years or so, you may not have people say hello to you, but in Lagos, there's that sense of family, everybody saying, it's just fun. So, but this happened, it happened to her, it's a security concern. So I'm diving into the story straight up, okay? She was at a bank. She stepped out of a bank, heading back home. She was at a bus stop. The first mistake that she made here, she left her personal car at home and she was in public transport. At the road, she says she met 3 other guys, like 2 other ladies, then another young man bearing around the age of 25 years old. He was a youth copper. They went into this bus at a place called Ogba. They went in there and the bus took off. So the bus takes off. Within about 7 minutes of that drive or so, this guy pulls over. Hey, let me not forget the fact that inside the bus, the front seat of a bus was an army officer. The back seat of a bus was a police officer, which you would think I would have even fallen into that because these are security staff inside of the bus. Usually they get into these buses as their mode of transport. They don't even pay. So seeing them in there made her feel like, she's safe. She went into this bus. So together, she said there were like 7 of them. That is 4 passengers, the policeman and the army guy, and the driver. About 7. So this car pulls over about 7 minutes or so and say, oh, this bus is not working anymore. Something is wrong with the bus. The bus begin to jerk and he pulls over. They all got out. And she said that the army officer got very upset. Apparently, they had staged it. Why did you get this bus on the road if you know this bus can't take us? I'm going to be late for work. Give them all of their money back. End quote. That was what happened. And they all disembarked. This army guy walked up and he saw like a Toyota van, Sienna. And urged them to come. Since we are all going to Ikeja, the same location, this Sienna is going. Let us get into this. Another mistake. She would not have known that. She went into this Sienna van. Guys, look up this story at Instagram. They didn't detail it, Instablog. They didn't detail it in there, but it's there because this lady is my personal person. And she said as soon as they went into this van, they wound up the glass, and then there was the AC on. It felt comfortable. As soon as that van took off, she said there was a guy in the back, and they had something like a face mask, and she described it as a little bigger than this regular face mask that we use, like just over her eyes like this, and that was all she knew. Fell asleep. This was, she said she checked that time. It was around 11 a.m. She had just gotten out of the bank. They weren't even after the money in the bank, or in the bag that she went for. So this wasn't a setup. That was the first thing I said. Oh, who knew she was at the bank? No, the story gets deeper than that. She said by the time they asked them to get out, she was aware of herself, like she's there, but she described it like an anesthesia, like if you were going to have surgery. She was aware, but wasn't aware. So when they got to another area, it was like a bush, thick forest, and they asked them to get out. And what had happened, I said, why didn't anybody say, no, I don't want to go? No, they were charmed, apparently. And she said all they had to tell them was, come with me. And they would just keep going, following them. In other words, they make mumu out of them, like turn them into some kind of goat or some animals. You see why I don't want to share this? I didn't want to share this because this is my beloved country that I love. So sickening, it's so sad. So they kept going. To cut the story short, because it's really, she was telling me this, it took like 2 hours. So I'm not going to give you this 2-hour thing, with the it's too long. So I'm just going to brief it. They took them into a house. She said it was a bungalow kind of house. And there were about 20 other people in there. They had masks over their face. Those ones are apparently just sitting there too, like mugus. Sickening. There was a native doctor there. What saved her life? Let me jump to that. Without disclosing much of her personal health status, the native doctor, voodoo priest, native doctor, came around and said, after they called the UCOPA was called in first. They used the wrapper, like a red wrapper on his waist, and that was it. She didn't see him again, but in her mind, she was questioning, where did this person go? He never came back. And then they called her. And the voodoo priest asked, who even brought this woman here? So that I'll call grace of God. Who brought this woman here? She's not complete. She does not have a womb. Okay, so it appears that they had scanned her spiritually to assess what she had. So come to find out that place was a joint where they harvest human organs. It's what it was. And this story beats me. I was traumatized hearing all of this. She was traumatized too. How did she get out? Let me rush the story. They ended up, they said, take her out of here. We can use this one. Praise the Lord. So they took her, drove still with the blindfold. She was in and out of herself. And she said by the time they dropped her off, it was after 12 o'clock midnight at my 2. So imagine a journey that started at 11 a.m., ended up at 12 at night on the directly opposite side of town. So she must have been out and traveled a long time. She didn't even know. So the end is the fact that she sought help. Somebody gave her a phone. She was able to call her husband. Her kids had been looking for her. I had been calling her, leaving messages, because she also occasionally would do my real estate business with me. So I had a deal, and I was trying to contact her. Would you please, no answer. Her phone just went dead. So the grace of God upon her life saved her. And it took her, in fact, as of 3 days ago, we were still trying to assure her that she's not dead because she was so traumatized. So my mind was messed up. Was messed up for the fact that she said there were children there, there were women, there were men there. Would they ever get out? What happened? Then I'm beginning to see all the missing people we've been seeing online. So these are true. Because if it don't happen to you close to home, you don't know. So this is the deal. This is what happened. My heart breaks. Talking about this story, it is not even funny. It is strange. It is not funny, but it is happening. And it brings me back into the US. I see a lot of missing kids. What's happening? Is this thing happening in the US too? I don't know. Because it had never been close to me. I never seen it. But it's possible. At this point, I see everything is possible. But definitely now I know it's happening in Nigeria. And I used to think that Lagos was safe. Oh, Lagos is no problem. It's just all fun and games. Now it brings me to why my husband will not allow me to go anywhere by myself. Not for 1 second. I travel. I'm in Africa. I'm in Lagos. It doesn't let me out of his sight. Now I see. He didn't tell me all of these things, but now I see. They're quite naive. Because I choose to live my life in faith and not in fear, because Nigeria is in my heart. So I choose not to even be in fear. But my husband never let me out of my sight. So I came up with this list for those of us that are aspiring. Home is home. Nigeria is home. It's all beautiful, but we gotta be safe, folks. We gotta be safe. And this is why I also talked about in my other video. If you haven't looked at it, look at about straddling. You be here, you be there. Because I could choose not to ever go back there again. Now I can choose that because I'm already here and I'm stable. I'm okay. I'm balanced here and I'm balanced there. So that was what that video was about. So safety concerns, number 1, avoid public transportation with other group of people. Avoid public transportation, all those local taxis, the buses. Funny enough, I have used those before. God have mercy. I've used those before, but I'm here telling you to try to avoid them if it is possible. And if you must go out, by yourself, if you're not going with a group, please use Uber or Bolt. At least, even though I've heard this could also happen there too, at least many of those drivers are registered. They will send you when you order it, they will send you a photograph of the driver and the license plate, the tag. So if you must do that, please be very careful. And I would encourage as much as possible, go out in company of friends, family, if possible. We have to be careful, okay? And there is this app that I have on my phone and the phones of my loved ones too, Live 360. There are other apps too like that. Even if you have an iPhone, always send your location. So this app, I'm able to know where my family is. Then again, you think if you put the app on, what if they throw away the same? If they throw away the same, you can only know to the last point that they were at. So I don't know how much of use that would be. Okay, I'm going to end this by saying just be careful who you trust. Just be careful who you trust. Getting into the van, there was nothing that would have prepared my friend from getting into that bus. It's probably not even much of a trust issue, but she saw the police officer and the army guy inside the van. She had trusted that. So we will all be careful and continue to pray for Nigeria. It's such a shame. And I know there's no way, no how the government is not aware of this. It's a political year coming up next year. So this is what they do. If they wanted to stop this evil that is happening, evil in the land, if they wanted to stop it, they have the ability. They will be able to stop it. You know what I'm guessing? They are benefiting from it. Our politicians. They are benefiting. Unfortunately, that's home, and we all stay informed. We all be careful. All right, folks, I don't want to bore you with the further details. I'm going to end it here. And by the way, for anybody concerned, my friend is totally okay. And I believe 3 days ago, she was able to be herself. She was traumatized. So we have her into therapy and stuff. I am okay now. I actually crashed my own car after this. I'm like, how, my mind was I was freaking out when I heard that, so like, comment, and share so we could educate other people. People don't need to lose their lives in any type of way, especially those of us in diaspora going home. Okay, y'all be careful out there. Like and share. If you're new, please subscribe to my channel if you get anything out of this. I would upload more. That would encourage me. Peace.